DAE Vulgus Fulcha, Is Misha Killian, This is Hallowed Highlands. Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Killian. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about shadow work. I'm actually writing a workshop on shadow work right now, and I will be offering that on my website shortly. It should be ready, I'm guessing, by next week. But anyway, this workshop is about shadow work, and today I'm going to go ahead and just give you kind of like a basic rundown on what the shadow self is, and my cat just jumped up here. What the shadow self is and what shadow work is. This is just going to be a quick little intro, so if you're interested in more, you can take the workshop once it is finished. Like I said, it will be listed on my website, so you'll be able to order it and receive the presentation, and then also we will schedule a time to go over it one-on-one. Either if you would like to meet Google Meet, we can meet on Zoom, stuff like that. So anyway, so what is the shadow self? The shadow self, very basically put, is all of the darker parts of ourselves that we don't like, the parts of ourselves that we are ashamed of, that maybe we're even afraid of. So for me personally, some of the things that my shadow self has going on is, one in particular, when I have not done something wrong, but someone says that I have done something wrong, I tend to get really defensive, and I tend to really get that Scorpio tail out. And that's one aspect of my shadow that I have been working on for a long time, and still working on, because I don't want to be like that anymore. But aspects of your shadow self can be things like jealousy, greed, rage. I know for me, I have a rage monster inside of me, and that came from a lot of trauma, surviving a lot of trauma. And part of my shadow work is learning how to better deal with my anger. So shadow work is where you actually make contact with your shadow self. You look deep inside and you find your shadow self, and you see all that it is, and you understand. One thing that I really I emphasize in this class that I'm teaching is that you have to listen to your shadow. You have to look for it, and you have to listen to it, and listen to understand. Don't just listen to lash back out at your shadow, or to, oh, never mind, this is too intense, I can't do this. It's very important that you take some time to really get to know your shadow and understand all the negative properties and behaviors. And then from there you can determine, what you can do things about. Do you want to change those things? And then from there you can make a plan to change those things. There are a lot of different ways to perform shadow work. Just a couple of them. Therapy is an obvious one. Going to therapy and sitting with someone who is educated and trained and hopefully unbiased, and can help you, process things that you've been through, and help you process your shadow so that you can grow. Besides therapy, you can also meditate, perform honest introspection, look deep inside of yourself for your truth, and journal about it. Journaling is another great way to perform shadow work, and it's very healing on many different levels. But, and with journaling, you can do tons of different kinds of journaling. You can do free writing, where you just get all the crap out, just write about all the crud that's inside. You can journal about specific times that you were hurt and how it affected you. There's all sorts of different ways that you can journal. Another method that I really I go into detail in the workshop is making noise and getting moving. You don't want stagnant energy. You don't want energy just sitting there. You want your energy to be moving. And it can be very powerful to get your body moving, and to use your speech, to sing, to chant, to use incantations, to use mantras, like with your chakras. Make noise. And I have like my chakra bowls out here. That's one way that I do shadow work, is that I use the I have a singing bowl for each chakra. So for here I have my root chakra right here. Over here I have my heart. I've got all the main 7. But really just get your body moving and get your voice out there. So sing, like I said. You can sing songs that help you get the sadness out or help you get the anger out. You can chant. You can write chants that help you release these feelings. Use singing bowls, drum. If you play an instrument like the violin or the piano or something, get involved musically. And like I said, get your voice going. It can really be helpful too to just make noises. Like I personally love a good fire and just moving around the fire and making these guttural sounds that just come from my shadow self and come from my soul, and I just let these sounds come out, and it's amazing how cathartic it is. So those are just a couple of many different ways that you can perform shadow work. And then let's see. The other thing that I wanted to mention that we actually go over in great detail in the presentation is the toxic positivity that we are dealing with in this culture. There is a huge emphasis on the light side of ourselves, our good sides, and there is a huge emphasis on light work. And unfortunately, I think that this has become very toxic because we are collectively, many of us are ignoring our shadow selves and ignoring shadow work, and just placing this huge focus on light work, light work, light work. I'm a light worker. I do good. I do this. I do that. But there's like this denial of the shadow self. And when we do that, we create energy blockages. We create health problems. We create so many issues for ourselves. So, that's one thing, like I said, that we talk about in the presentation is the toxic positivity and how it's important to balance. It's important to accept, embrace, and pay attention to all aspects of ourself, not just the light side or the happy side or the light worker side. Shadow work is just as important, and shadow workers are very, very powerful healers. So that is my little introduction to shadow work. If you are interested in taking the workshop, it will be on my website very soon. And like I said, you will gain access to the presentation. You'll be able to keep a copy of it. And we will also schedule a time to go over it one-on-one. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you stay safe out there. And thank you for being here. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe, hit the bell so that way you don't miss any other videos. And I'll see you guys again soon.